Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WGLEU. And if you just missed the last game, you definitely missed a bit of a brawl. It was a messy one, and it was Wombats and Tanks who came out in the tiebreaker. Definitely wasn't made easy by Kazna, but Kazna, as we discussed off-stream a little bit, had their chances to win there as well. So, in terms of roster mania, or ladder mania, as we're going to call it actually, it doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, Wombats and Tanks tentatively and very quickly move into first place for probably just this game, because we've got now the biggest mismatch of the season. It's first versus 12th. Tornado Rocks going up against Stronk Siema now. I mean, how much is there honestly really much to say about this, Ollie? Because I really feel like on paper, it tells us enough of the story.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's like a team which has got 1 point. I think it was against Out of Range versus a team that's got right at the top of the ladder with, 23, 24, 25 points. So completely different ends of the spectrum. And I expect Tornado Rocks to be able to walk away with this one pretty easily. If they do lose it, of course, we have to talk about that very unlikely event. Then there's chances there for Ding to get in as well. So I would be pretty surprised, if I'm honest with you. And, you know, right now, I think we can pretty easily say that Wombats and Tanks and Tornado Rocks will be the two to go towards the finals. Ding has a small chance, but I don't think so at this point in time. I saw like Angel of War and the Ding guys in chat like, come on, Kaz and the crew, like, you want to win this one. But yeah, I mean, Wombats also, you know, they don't just qualify for the season finals, they qualify for the grand final as well, because of course Team Supreme, Penta Sports aren't in qualify. I mean, Team Supreme doesn't exist as a team. They're Hellraisers. There are a couple of more teams in there, and Penta Sports, of course, not qualified either. That's only Tornado Rocks from season 1 left in the running. So there's a space there, which obviously Wombat Tanks fills.
Yeah. So you know, going forward, of course, we actually let me just check the ladder. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, going forward now, of course, this game, there's potential for Stronk Siema to disrupt things, and that's really about it. There's nothing more to really say on that note, I like to think. And of course, as well, bear in mind that Rocks can follow that first place. Not really likely, but that's fine. Either way, we are still interested in seeing what you guys think. If there are any of you out there that are backing Stronk Siema to get a cheeky little win here, and for that and much more, we do have Melly on board to take care of things on the social media side of things.
And I should probably let go of the top button before starting to speak. Yeah. People, you voted, of course, 86% for Tornado Rocks, which is very, very solid. And over 20% of those votes were a 5-0 win for Tornado. So, as I said, I mean, if the first one is going up against the last one on the table almost, there's not much to expect, but sometimes wonders do happen. We had that in the season, so I'm very, very cautious about my predictions. I'm not predicting anyways, because it always goes exactly the other direction. So maybe I should, just for the sake of it. Just kidding. And of course, you can still vote. The vote is open until the 4th round ends. So head over to facebook.com/WGLEU if you haven't voted yet. And of course, send us your thoughts via the hashtag WGLEU over at Twitter. And also follow us at WGLEU to stay updated. So if you have to leave your computer during the night, don't worry. We will tweet you and tell you who's leading, who's winning, what games are, what matches and maps are played, and so on. So you won't miss, well, at least no results.
Yeah, let us know. We do want to know. I mean, there's a lot of, 5-0s coming in, but, I mean, Stronk Siema have won one round. They got 1 point, sorry, not one round. Yeah. Let's be nice about it. But on average, they lose their matches by at least 3 rounds. So that's a lot. That means that 5-2 is the best generally that they're sort of achieving. Yep. So not good. I mean, that's the thing. It's never really going to be a very, very close one, I think, as far as prediction goes on paper. Notoriously as well, Tornado Rocks are really, really slow in getting themselves into the lobby. So they've been just stuffing around with that. But we also do want to check in and see what at least they had to say on this upcoming match. Let's hear it. Maybe later. Interesting enough, though.
Servers are exploding around us right now.
That's fine, yeah.
Encoders are just jetting off into outer space.
Yeah, they're just being shot out of the computers at the back. Guccio, He's back in the lineup, Oliver.
Is he?
Guccio for Stronk Siema. We haven't seen him.
He was benched since he got outplayed by Dumnus on Himmelsdorf in that E100.
So we haven't seen Guccio play for quite a while now. That's a bit of a throwback here. So, I mean, he was the guy that we got to speak to last season and sort of chat to him as well about his thoughts on Stronk Siema. Stronk Siema narrowly avoided relegation last season somehow. But now there's no choice. They're getting relegated 100%, and they know that as well. So there's a funny quality about that sort of state of mind, really. You just want to see if you can mess things up for everyone else. You know, it's like, we know we're going down. Let's try and drag someone down with us. Unfortunately, a win here isn't even going to challenge Rusty Roster, who's above them with 5 points. So they go to 4 points in the astronomically unlikely case that they win. But we did see ASAP last season get an upset win there as well. And they were that kind of same team. We were just like, yeah, this is a bit average. But it's always possible here. There's potential for it. We are looking to see both these teams now ready them up as per usual. There's always problems on the side of Tornado Rocks here, but we can at least see some of the tanks they're bringing in. Himmelsdorf will be the map that they're starting with as well.
Yeah, I mean, Tornado, I think it's pretty realistic that Legend will replace Stronk Siema in this in the WGLEU Europe Gold Series, because Legend are about 100 points clear of the second Silver Series team. Obviously, the top two Silver Series teams looking to qualify. If you go on play.eslgaming.com, click on World of Tanks, click on Europe, you'll see the relegation news. You can check out exactly who's going to be going up, who's going to going down the structure. This is going to be streamed as well, so you'll be able to follow it along. But the top two Silver Series teams are also qualifying because of the region lock situation. We're seeing at least 2 European teams dropping out. No, we haven't actually. It's being discussed at the moment, so there's some ambiguity there, so we better just leave it until it's 100% done and dusted. And of course, we'll be talking about that one. But that's generally what we're looking at. It's pretty likely at this point in time. So yeah, I mean, Legend definitely going in lucky cracky in second and Silver Series. So they're looking like they can possibly rejoin us in the league. It's been a while since we said that name before. And a good Polish team as well. Like we're replacing a Polish team with a Polish team. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. And of course, it's important to point out that there's still plenty of World of Tanks stuff happening in the off-season as well. Some leagues are running in there as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, ESL Open Major as well happening. You can check that out. It's on that same portal page. Got some Gold Series teams in there, top 4 Gold Series teams. And just an open league if you want to join in. So plenty of gold online, 1.5 million. Play around with while we're waiting for Tornado Rocks to get themselves sorted out. And it's a great way to get yourself into the run of things. You can play against some of the top players. Obviously, there's going to be some downtime between the end of this season, about a month until we got the grand finals. Also have the season final for the Russian league as well. And that will lead us in quite nicely. And I mean, if we look at the possible qualifiers for the European finals, we've got, I reckon, Womat's 100% now, obviously.
Yep.
Tornado Rocks, probably the most likely. The only one behind them would be Cancer Crew, is also qualifying. All the other teams weren't in a position.
Yep.
So if Cancer Crew come into this finals, they'll get into the finals and come. I think they have to come. I think they have to come first.
Right.
You get a load more points for first than any other things, because Tornado Rocks came 3rd, 4th in the last season. I'm not sure what the comparison is between if Tornado gets 3rd, 4th this season as well, and if Cancer gets 2nd and they got 7th. No, they got 4th, I think. Yeah, they got 5th last time. 2nd versus 5th and 3rd. 4th versus 3rd, 4th. Yep. Not sure, as Wargaming usually have all the point tally. But that's going to be really interesting. I think if they do make it, it's going to be a bit of a storyline there, Cancer versus Tornado.
Absolutely. There's a rivalry between those two, going back, of course, to the Continental Rumble, which was an incredible game towards the finals, and not a good one for Wombats on Tanks, though. So guess what? Finally, we're in. Of course, it was Tornado Rocks. Just dragging out a bit as well. They'd like to give us plenty of time to talk about things, but we're going to be going in here as well. Tornado Rocks have actually bring them the FV4005 as well, that tier 10 British tank destroyer. Oliver, give us a spiel on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big old tank. We've seen it a lot on the Russian server, on the Russian region, and obviously Tornado Rocks Russian speakers don't speak a word of English, and they like to pick it up. I mean, in my opinion, it's the worst tier 10 tank, but it's got one of those specific uses, which is it's very tall. It's taller than any other tank, basically, and it has the same gun as the FV183, so it can hit for 1,150, I believe, with similar penetration, 230 with Hesh. So it's big. I mean, like, it's big. That's the short and simple of it. Doesn't have any armor to speak of at all. But big, good gun depression.
Gets around as well.
Yeah, it's reasonably fast, you know. But in my opinion, it's terrible. All
right, well, let's see. Diador's picked that one up here. He's going to give it a go anyway. Wilson is the first, and he's... maybe he's bounced that shot. No, it was a track I think he got done. He just had to repair that pretty quickly. So he's at least seen Armageddon up on the top of the hill. Will he look for more? It's possible. Yeah, he does. Diador sees him, though, as well. In fact, he sees Diador. So that gives away a lot. Stronk Siema should know what they're going up against now in terms of what's up on that hill. And Guccio seems happy enough to get out of there for the moment, as Stronk Siema actually have most of the team on this hill. This is really quite strange. I don't think that Tornado saw much of Stronk Siema on the hill before. I'm not 100% sure what Armageddon actually saw when he poked over.
I think he saw most of them. I mean, enough at least to say that they shouldn't push up there. But yeah, I think the fact is that Tornado Rocks have committed a lot up there, so they have to commit a little bit more down towards that 8 line if they actually want to push up that one. So I have to see. I mean, obviously, Tornado Rocks can't push over that hill, and in the same notion, Stronk Siema can't push up on towards that hill. So it's a bit of both. It looks actually like Tornado Rocks aren't going to be going down the 8 line like as expected and just simply shooting up the B area onto the back of Stronk Siema. They're actually going to commit more forces up the hill and just say, okay, well, we've got the Waffentrager, we've got the FV005, so that first volley you're going to have, fair enough, but it's only going to be 390 damage. And then we're going to hit you with like 1,150 and those 560 shells from thereafter from the Waffentrager.
Wilson is being, constantly lit by my 1945 year, but you can see he can't actually spot the rest of the tanks down there. He's not quite seeing them. They're just hidden by the crest. So, yeah, Tornado don't know yet, actually, if Stronk Siema have just left the hill, if they pushed off, what they're going to stay, should I say. And it seemed like Tornado Rocks pushed forward. They pushed past a little bit of cover, and now they're inching back a little bit as well. So,
correct.
Why? Why do you...
He even peaked a lot. Like, he peaked a lot over that hill.
That's not smart. He knew he was lit as well.
That's pretty good. Some pretty good shooting regardless.
Yeah, I think Tornado were pretty much trained on him there as well. So they pick him up.
Stronk Siema coming in.
Here they go. Diador's going to have a crack at this one as well. Let's see if he can make the shots count. Yep, he does. One shot. Was it one shot towards the Cassiasti? Close to it anyway. He sent him absolutely packing. So that's what that tank can do there when he does get his gun down. And the push is on. Stronk Siema is still going to keep trying to come towards this one. I wouldn't exactly call this the most imaginative style of play. And in fact, kind of weird, really, that they want to fight on the hill, but they're going to have a crack at it anyway. Sturoid's getting bursted down completely, and Diador is almost off reload. He'll definitely be looking for his next victim in a few moments. He has less tanks to shoot at him. That was a big roll for him. Hunter Sword goes down. Diador now going to take a few more shots. 1,112 damage coming back from him as well. Stronk Siema going to get absolutely trashed here. And they never really were in with a fighting chance. I don't really know what the plan was. I don't know if they're having a laugh.
It's not a plan with Stronk Siema, come on.
They're having a laugh. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest random battle strategy I've ever seen. Both teams send all the heavy tanks up towards the hill, and they both have some sort of random fight on there. One team's obviously got a massive advantage, but the other team is still going to push into them, so it doesn't even matter anymore. So it's going to be Tornado Rocks to pick up that round. Only lost the AMX 1390, my 1945 year, who never plays at all. It's usually, I think, the Annihilators who's missing today for Tornado Rocks. No, he's actually playing. Yeah, I mean, so Lucy must be missing, yeah.
It's his wire, but like, his wire's not working, so he's not going to play. Simple as that.
All right.
So Tornado Rocks tend to have a habit of not bringing their subs into the lobby and then just like expecting to play with the players, even though they're having problems with like the internal anti-cheat system. And we're just like, bros, I don't think so.
It's the same with like visas and stuff. I mean, if you have to get visas for a country, if you're a team and you don't, and you only have 7 players, and you expect to get 7 players, you get 7 players to try and get visa, and one of them doesn't because whatever reasons, the embassy consuls like always have problems. I've had visas denied before in the past.
I've had visa problems on my own.
You've always got to have a backup. Like, you can't complain if you don't get it. Like, these are the problems, which I don't know why visas exist. I think there's a better system out there. They're the bane of my existence, but
point is,
it's a bit of a rant for me.
Yeah, I know, he's let it out there. It's fine. We're getting the frustration out here as well. We're annoyed at Kazna early on for the throw. Now we're seeing this as well. It's like, we're sat here and we'll have to cast it, but I'll have to say that the Tank Destroyers for Rocks had a pretty strong game there as well.
Yeah.
Diador making good use of the FV4005. pretty much because Stronk Siema just gave him like tanks on a platter. So you want to shoot me? Yeah, go for it. Go ahead. The only reason Diadol doesn't have a massive amount of damage is because one of those shots was to kill that 1390, which is just blows my mind. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a long time since I've been a blue efficiency player. But still, like, yeah, blows my mind. Anyway, Ahoyek getting a little bit of damage done, probably because he was one of the last to die. But it was very much a Tornado Rocks game there as well. There's no analysis required, I'd like to think. Pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah,
it's, it will be like if we got the whole ESL office to play World Tanks for the first time on Himmelsdorf. That's exactly what would have happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, strong Kappas coming out in Twitch chat. Like to see that. Yeah, I mean, everyone's rooting Stronk Siema, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, boys. I mean, sorry to say.
Yeah.
If Lucy couldn't connect to wire, maybe against Wombats, which we saw last week, could have been a different story. But, you know, it's Stronk Siema to get the stroke of good fortune. But, yeah, I mean, just going to be Himmelsdorf for a second time in a row. Positive is getting taken down. I think Lucy has got his interweb sorted.
Oh, so it does work. So it's not just our fault it doesn't work. That's good to know.
It works.
Oh, okay, boys.
Miracles.
All right, let's just get rid of the sulk here. All right. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's not a lot to say about that last one. Let's see if Stronk Siema have something different here as well. Lucic is back as well. So my 1945 year, who I believe is a Russian living in Scotland, which is a interesting
Ireland
little
or
comment.
Scotland?
Ireland, actually. Yeah. So there you go. He obviously subbing in there as well. So Guccio again, back. He hasn't been put down. They're happy enough with his performance there as well. I mean, it's either who was the most worse, I guess, except the least good. I don't know how to put it any other way. I actually don't know. Like, it's just I don't need an excuse to cast badly, and then I get games like this, and I'm just gone. It's just game over.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's game over for us. It's game over for Stronk Siema. It's game over for everyone.
Let's just go home now, people.
I mean, this is like Hamburg HSV right now playing in the Bundesliga. This is Stronk Siema. This is what they are. This is a one-on-one comparison.
Oh, I think that's pretty accurate, actually, yeah. Sorry to all the HSV fans out there, but your team sucks.
There's not many of them.
Your team sucks. Anyway, they're going to shove down, Tornado that is. They're going to be pushing down, of course, on that western side here as well. And if I were them, I would just push straight through here. Let's see what Stronk Siema have set up. We're also going to be pushing forward again. What a surprise. We'll see how far out he goes. He's going to get caught by the Annihilator, fair enough. So he's been spotted, shots coming in. And he's lucky to get away with his life there as well. 2 shots could easily have done with him quite easily. The Cassiasti trades a shot in towards the Annihilator. And Luciquel as well, just forging forward a little bit. I think that 39 is essentially pinned where he is. If he wants to get back, yeah, he forces crossing over that 2 line, which is being watched by Positive and Co at the moment. So he's going to get slapped around a little bit here as well. And Stronk Siema might try and push an FE215B through the middle. You can see where Hunter's Ord is there as well. But there's also eyes on that 3-line road, so it doesn't really matter where you go, you're going to get hit. Luciquel goes forward and is punished for that. Steroids just sends a warning shot in, says, you know, that's not really going to work out. The Annihilator faces a little bit of damage, and he does manage to get rid of Wilson as a result. So trades coming in, I would say, in favour of Tornado Rocks right now. They're just handling it a little bit more deftly. And I don't think Stronk Siema have a great position here as well. You can see where they are set up. Up on towards just that 3-line road, and crossing that is pretty dangerous for them here as well. This is where most teams would actually try something different.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, Stronk Siema are actually doing pretty well. I mean, they're exchanging well.
Yep.
Okay, I would say, you know, Tornado Rocks have a slightly stronger setup, but yeah, they're doing okay. You can see, you know, Tornado aren't playing the most put together tanks. I would say that they're kind of being a little bit loose and leery right now, especially with that Armageddon, the IS-3.
Yep.
Volksic's there in the background as well. He can just keep him spotted. I mean, Hunsord's basically on his own. He hasn't got any support, basically.
Why is he there? I don't know.
Guccio is off to the side, but I mean, that's 1,200 damage. If Tornado Rocks just put a couple of tanks onto him, he's still not going to be able to provide that much. Ojek's far away, and SE Dynamo can provide some good damage. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a back and forth between these two teams. I feel like if Tornado Rocks just want to push forwards and you know, just finish this game, they still can because
look at this.
So many tanks are just out of position for Stronk.
Yeah, Ahoyek was tracked right in a position where he couldn't fire at FC Dynamo because his turret's mounted at the back, and FC could. So Guccio now going to come and just try and relieve some of the pressure here as well. A lot of damage towards Armageddon, but he's fired all of his shots, and well, he hasn't really inflicted too much damage in terms of tanks there. Hunter's Ord decided to push forward, but I think there's 2 angles. Yeah, there's an angle there from Positive that he can catch him from. So that's pretty straightforward. Very business-like Tornado Rocks are now as they move forward. Maybe if your business is the Wolf of Wall Street on a party day, I guess. You all remember that
AKA
scene.
Friday night, Mitch Leslie, Oliver Maxfield.
The Habanero Bros going at it spicy. That's it. Well,
bit of Inferno sauce on that as well.
Absolutely, in the Mexicana shots, man. We of course encourage responsible consumption of alcohol, guys. We'll make that clear. But Cologne is a nice place to get a good drink. So if you do come down for finals, we'd love you to join us afterwards and have a chat. But Guccio now just going to make his way to... That's a disapproving look from Melly, isn't it? Melly's not a party person, though.
No, since I moved to Cologne, like the first few weeks, I've spent a lot of time with Melly, show him in his city. Well, after that, she's just been like the boring. Oh, I've got a boyfriend. I got to
stay in. I got to get my master's thesis.
Yeah, I got to get my master's thesis or not. You know.
And to be fair, like she might be the mother, but who out of us has had poop on our pants in the last week or so?
What?
Who of us has had poop on our pants in the last week or so?
I forgot about the horse.
So much for being a mother there. That's it. Wading through it.
Mother to a fowl.
So, all right, guys. I mean, that was the round pretty straightforward. I think we actually covered most of the important stuff there at the start, and then we got onto the really important stuff. But you obviously did see the setup for Stronk Siema wasn't really good, and I think there was a reluctance or a stubbornness from them to actually change their positioning. You saw that they committed to that side of the map, and when they saw that Tornado was set up there was no real change. We saw, I think it was Lucasiasti push into the middle of the map and get up in that corner. Now, that's, I guess, fine to proxy spot, but there was no follow-up there. No. Guccio worked the 8 line. He tried to go down there. He couldn't even kill an IS-3 with a full clip, so not great from him as well. He wasn't really able to alleviate any of the pressure. No, it was Hunterzord, sorry. Then Hunterzord pushed forward out of that position in the corner against 2 or 3 tanks. In fact, there was 4, because 2 could fire from the angle behind him. So, I mean, there's no real like adaptation from Stronk Siema. They're not really thinking too much about trying to change things up here. So this is going to obviously not make them look too much better than they are now, which to be fair isn't that good. We're going to move on towards Murovanka now as well, which the last couple of weeks we haven't exactly seen oodles of. This was actually a map that was Stronk showed us some of the rounds that they won. This is where we actually got to see something from them. So we can only hope that they'll have something for Tornado on this one. But here we go. Positive Annihilator, FC Dynamo Vorsen. They're all up the top there as well. Decent damage. Steroids as well. Honestly, he definitely a top player from that team. He definitely can fire up when he needs to, but unfortunately, Stronk Siema do seem to be outclassed here, and even Steroids going ham is going to help. Wilson dying with 0 damage again. Same as last round. Again, not too surprising to see just how aggressively he comes forward.
It was a good player. It was a good player at one point. I'm pretty sure we've been in the same team, and some maybe in Pirates. I don't know. Rings a bell. There's a guy called Wilson. He might have been a Dutch guy, not Polish, but. Yeah, same. I guess there's people called Wilson, more than one person called Wilson.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
I work with a guy called Wilson, so, crazy, I know.
Yeah, there's many Wilsons, but I don't know. I think I want to see I want to see some next level stuff from Stronk. I want them to YOLO through somewhere. I
want to see some stuff. Like, no offense to them, but they haven't changed their strategy. When they run into something that goes wrong.
I feel like Stronk Siema's biggest problem, I mean, apart from the fact that they played a load of games in the first half of the season, probably kind of burnt themselves out. They've just been copying other tactics since then. They've been watching the stream or something and been copying them, not really understanding the work. But I think that every team has a bad start, burns themselves out, and just does badly for the rest of the season. I think it happens every single time. To be fair, it only really happened to Stronk Siema this one. I mean, Rusty Ross has had a bad one as well, but at least they've won a match and got a couple of other tiebreaker losses.
Lucic has camo net, by the way. I just want to point this out. That's why he's not being spotted yet. So he spotted Wilson running all the way to the red line. And Wilson's going to get slapped because of the result. Look at how close he is to Luciquel as well. Obviously, he has binos and camo, which is what our observers tried to show us beforehand here. Yeah, Stronk Siema. We're not really seeing anything that we could say is classically Stronk Siema. I saw some good stuff from them last season. I honestly don't know what's happened because they didn't get relegated. That's something,
I thought they were one of the better Polish teams last season.
Yeah, without a doubt.
With Utopia, it was Utopia, Stronk Siema.
Yep.
They were the ones leading the way, but I mean, obviously, it's 768, not 754. I mean, it's the reason why KB and Oops have got up quite high into the league table because it's almost like a reset. I mean, complete different format. I mean, we've had tier 8s in 742, and that's really allowed some of the other teams just to work their way up the league table and actually start to perform. I mean, principally the game's the same, but you can see, I mean, for instance, the individual skill makes a lot of difference.
Look at
the
this.
The tank picks make a lot of difference. Maps make a lot of difference than compared to 754.
Look at what the Binocs can do for you here. Luciquel, he took a shot in the side before, but he knew he wasn't spotted, so there was no reason for him to move. And again, he'll stay. He'll stay until he dies, actually. But he's spotting these guys the whole time. He'll now back away, still isn't spotted, because at least the bush is in front of him and he's not firing, right? Firing obviously reduces your camo ratio. Do you really think we'll see a push like that, Alex? I don't know, man.
I think that's the brave call. He is going to go down and get spotted right at the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's going to be first kill. I mean, fair enough to Stronk Siema. Lucy lost his cool there, try to get safe when he probably couldn't. Hunsword was quite far forwards, but still I would say Tornado Rocks have the advantage there on the defensive side. Haven't lost any HP, but then again, you know, Stronk Siema have got control of this eastern side. The Object 140 will have to now play that whole hull down position in K5. And yeah, I mean, double T110E5 doesn't really give much flexibility to Tornado Rocks. They can't really move out of this position. If they do, they always run the risk of being overmatched.
It's interesting to see that Tornado Rocks actually didn't do anything really with the information that Luciquel gave them, apart from finally kill Wilson, which took like 14 rounds. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could have done a bit more maybe from the hill, or maybe even push on. I mean, they had enough info. They're like, there was so much spotting done by Luciquel there, but no damage to follow it up. So, Diodor has Binocs as well. So, you know, a bit of flexibility in his role. He can, you know, maybe spot steroids or someone coming through. A secondary spotter, I guess, someone that's actually not afraid to fight back. No camo net, of course. So, doesn't have the extra ratio there, but he does have a little bush there to chill in. Stronk Siema make a rotation towards the top side of the map here. And might even try and push down. But problem is, I feel, Ollie, that it's reasonably well-established positioning from Tornado here. They've got a double 110E5. So if Stronk Siema hesitate on pushing down, they're going to be slowly picked apart here. I hope they don't try and set up some stakeout positions and just try and win a prolonged fight, because I don't see that happening.
No, I think they need to go a little bit aggressive here for sure. But I mean, it's good to see that Stronk Siema actually trying to win this game. I mean, they're doing okay. I thought they would just... Considering who they're playing, considering that they can't make their way off 12th place at this point, I thought they would just YOLO every single round with a weird tactic, weird strategy, weird tank lineup. But yeah, they're playing this one more standardly, and they've done better than a lot of teams have at finding that AMX 1390 and actually making their way into the correct positions, which of course up north. But still, they have to take care of those two T110E5s. They still have to take care of those STBs, and yeah, I mean, it looks like they finally are pushing.
They're going to have a go anyway. Again, this is what I mean. Like, it's not a spearheaded push. It's not, and they're not trying to punch through at all. They're just sort of sit back and trying to find some shots. So you're right, Oliver. I think they are trying to win here, but why start now? You know, I mean, with the way that they went about the first bit of the round here, especially that last map, I mean, looking tough for them to push on towards double T110E5 as well. And some of the best players in Europe, if not, you know, the Northern Hemisphere, I'd say. Well, and some of the best players in the world, really. Like, this team for Tornado is just so darn strong. AHOYEK looking for something, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird as well. Stronk Siema, I mean, if we look at the ranking table, you got Utopia in 9th, Out of Range in 10th, Rusty Roster in 11th, and Stronk in 12th. 4 Polish teams, the 4 Polish teams we had in the league, the most Polish teams we've basically ever seen, all making up those bottom slots. All of them. I think Utopia's had, like, I think Utopia's been okay. They've been a bit hit and miss there. Had the best chance. Out of Range is still kind of new. Played excellently in that second half of the season, of course, beating Tornado Rocks. But, I mean, there must be some commonality in the way they play the game. They approach tier 10s that's put those Polish teams down towards those bottom spots. And, of course, you know, Utopia has a chance of getting above Penta and Synergy if they win against Ding later on. But still, that's quite unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, but those two teams have always given us at least a good bash, you know, a decent sort of game. But Guccio and Lucasiasti now hoping to do that here, maybe. They come forward and positive is lit. This is not bad, eh? AHOYEK and Hunterzord coming back over the other side here. So the firing squad of Tornado Rocks had best be ready for this. Especially when we talk about overmatching against 110E5s. It's a great way to catch them out. And, well, Vorson sends a shot in AHOYEK's direction. And he manages to dodge one coming in from Guccio as well. Good cover of this hill for Tornado. We've got Armageddon there as well, who's able to discourage any commitment to the top side of that hill. Excuse me. Butcher takes a hit off screen as well, and it's just good trades coming in for Tornado right now. Yeah,
easy stuff. And Guccio, Butcher, and Lucasiasti starting to push around. They want to get a cap on the way, but of course the Armageddon's there to provide some good support, and the T110 of course being hull down. It's such a great tank, the T110E5. Very easy to play, good hull down, strong enough, and it really has no weaknesses at all. I mean, it's just I mean, even the gun handling is fantastic with that one.
Yep.
Slightly above average heat ammo penetration with 340. I mean, you can't argue with a tank like that to bring the pain.
Even Armageddon can reset here as well. So that cheeky little trip cap, which, by the way, is not very creative either. It's not going to work out. And Hunter's Horde takes a big amount of damage towards him. And even Ahoyek falls back off the kill here. So I'd say that Stronk Siema had a chance probably just now, but they might be in trouble here. Diodor's low, but can still just start pumping shells here into Lucasiasti if he's game enough to round the corner. Even FC Dynamo going to be there to join as well. He can soak some shots or bounce some, in fact. Give Diodor a bit more of a peace of mind about actually coming around the corner and not losing his life. Diodor is being cagey about it. Ahoyek, though, goes up to the top of the hill again. I mean, it's, you know, it's like touching a hot stovetop multiple times, even after you know it's hot. Going towards the top of that hill for Stronk Siema just wasn't working because Tornado do have the tank sitting back. And they're able to put some damage on towards you here. Guccio valiantly trying to fight here, and it's a good little bit of damage just shaved off Armageddon. But Guccio will fall in the end. There's not a lot of coordination here for Stronk Siema. Although I will say the health points are quite close. It's a 6v4, and Butcher is barely alive. Yeah,
Tornado's just exchanging well. They're peeking up, doing a bit of damage, receiving some, the next person does it, they'll just go along the line. But looks like Tornado Rocks are just going to go forwards with the T110, the Batchat, and the STB. Finish this game off. Diodor, though, might fall if he doesn't be careful. Lucasiasti will have just to wait for 3 shells before he has a reload.
2v1, at least Lucasiasti can pick up the kill there. But Armageddon should have the next shot coming in nice and quickly. Had to shave off another one here at the moment. So back and forth stuff, and FC Dynamo's come in as well to help out. Steroids... okay. Steroids is red line sniping, so he's sitting back trying to get a little bit of damage across the line. He's now lit as well, and that's karma for you. That's what happens when you try to play the Crux style of World of Tanks. Always going to hate me for that. That's okay. Steroids now looking worse, where even the spectator, our observers, obviously Magus and Famea, shaking their heads in dismay. And that's a third round coming up for Tornado Rocks there. I think it's safe to say that maybe Murovanka not their forte, but they still managed to get it done. It was a pretty standard setup, I feel, from the Tornado team. Yeah, I mean, Murovanka's one of those maps which is just not played that often. A lot of the teams just trying to avoid it. It just leaves some options for a lot of teams against some of these stronger ones. And I have to say, I mean, Stronk Siema could have won that one. They took down the they took down the MX 1390, no problems at all. They lost their RU251 unnecessarily. And then they could have won it, but I think their lineup with no heavy tank didn't help. They didn't play through the middle. Yep. A little bit bad on those exchanges. They had no tanks in that A line at all, so they couldn't. The one line they couldn't actually, get any second angle. So they were always fighting on one front, and obviously, Tornado Rocks had the better positions in that case. So yeah, it's 3-0 right now towards Tornado Rocks as expected. We've got one more round of Murovanka to go. Of course, now Tornado Rocks go on the attack, and I expect them just to pick heavier tank, push down towards that cap number 1, play around there, use the artillery piece, use the one-line positions to just try and win the game like that. Steroids, top damage. What's your take on that one, mate? Well, I think he's a red line sniper. That's what I wanted you to say. I mean, to be fair, we saw Steroids. He actually took a lot of shots, 31 shots. So he's had a lot of time on his own to think about, what he's done this season, think about maybe his plans for the next season, or maybe even what he's going to have for dinner. But he's able to do about 3.7k damage because he was left unattended for most of the time. Probably just right-clicking and eating with his left hand. Yeah, so he just lock on and just every now and then slap it down. Artillery play, that's what you got to do. Yep. But, I mean, good damage from him, but of course, it's not enough. Lucic and Wilson both doing nothing. We both sort of get taken out fairly early on. Lucic there, he lost his nerve a little bit. I also think the Rocks weren't able to capitalise on his spotting because they had no one on that eastern side. So it was enough for him to go down, and they knew that, okay, all of Stronk Siema are here. That's why they moved Diodor into the secondary spotting position in the south just in case, and that is when Stronk Siema went from the north. Quad STBs, still no heavy tanks coming out here at all from Stronk Siema, not even FV to speak of, whereas Tornado Rocks again, not changing too much up at all, but Diodor's going into some artillery here. Oh, they've kind of done the old bluff trick. They've got the 2 heavy tanks. They're not going to go towards that left side. This is one of the first times we've ever seen that, or if not the first time we've seen it this season, with the artillery and the double heavy tanks. So this is going to be interesting. See if Stronk Siema actually predict it. And both teams have gone towards this right side. Both have been spotted. But I feel Stronk Siema with those double heavy tanks, Diodor not being
killed at the beginning, has a big advantage, and Wilson looks like he's going to do his 4th round without any damage done.
Yeah, huge amount of damage going in his direction as well, and it's just a firing squad here. They're all being spotted out, and they're all being cut down. Butcher now, very, very low as well. I don't need to tell you that. You can probably read it yourself. And Armageddon's going to give some ground here. I think all the Tornado Rocks are happy just to take shots and move back to safer positions. Vorsen, though, has been a subject of consternation. It's about 1,700 damage saved off him, and he's actually the first tank to drop here, strangely enough. He was focused down quite quickly. And I have to wonder if this really benefits Tornado Rocks going here with heavies. They did get the early trades here. Dido hoping to catch onto someone, which is tricky because it doesn't look like Stronk Siema really want to slow down.
No, that was a really good pickup. I mean, Vorsic down, fair enough to them. They haven't won the exchanges that well. Dido hasn't made a shot yet in the artillery piece. Let's see exactly what you can do. But the Annihilator with that Batchat's going to do a lot of damage now.
I mean, look at it. Now damage starting to come through. The Annihilator is being focused. I mean, that's correct. That's the smart play from Stronk Siema to get on towards him early. And he'll probably go down before he gets to use his whole clip. And he does. Wilson gets damage done. He picks him up. He gets the kill as well. It's a 4v5 situation. Stronk Siema still behind in health points. And it's still getting worse. However, 4v3. Not terrible news for Stronk Siema. Guccio and Wilson still able to be factors here despite Guccio losing his driver. And Luciquel here, not really in a great position to stay safe. I mean, Armageddon getting hammered down here. This might be Stronk Siema getting around, but Tornado Rocks are increasing in health points somehow, according to our spectator. That's a bit weird. It's not 5k odd as well. It's even less than 38.47 here. It's quite a lot lower. 4v3. Dido needs to hit some shots, otherwise it's game over.
Yeah, and Guccio is actually coming into the game. Finally, he's got 2 shells to make. Might be able to find Lucic.
Yeah, he's hammering Luciquel here. Nice work in Armageddon. He should have hit that shot. I mean, like, he was right around the corner. Guccio, he could have taken out Guccio before he took down his teammate, but he didn't. Don't know what was going on there. And now we have a 2v4 situation. There's 1 tank left for Tornado Rocks, and if I was Tornado Rocks, I'd be kicking myself for even losing 1 round of Stronk Siema.
Yeah,
I'm saying now.
Insane stuff. I mean, the Vorsa getting absolutely cancelled out. Tornado Rocks just playing pretty carelessly. I mean, even when they had the overmatches in some situations, they didn't play particularly well. You could tell Lucic could have got the exchange there, but he just classic rager that Lucic is. He just alt F4s out of the game as soon as he's at a disadvantaged situation. Like, if I'm not here and they kill me, it doesn't count. I'm still alive. Yeah, it's like, you know, when you're a kid, you put your hands over your eyes and you think that no one can see you.
When Thomas the Tank Engine was about to have a crash, I'd run behind the couch and cover my eyes up here.
Exactly. Right? I mean, it's the same
To be fair, I wish I had a couch to run behind in that round as well.
Vortex got so wrecked, he's actually offline. So see if he comes back in. Obviously, ESLY just crashing him again. But so is a couple more people, so we have to wait for them to get back in.
FC Dynamo's rage quit. I think Tornado Rocks have just disbanded, guys. So that's it. They lost a round of Stronk Siema. It's like, it's been good, guys.
It's like Team Supreme, Dream Team disband after they lose one round. So I wouldn't be surprised. Done. Get outplayed by Penta's OI tactic on Ruinberg. Done. No more team. I'm going to Hellraisers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, they may end up playing it soon anyway. But Emily, let's talk about the vote here as well. Of course, quite a decisive vote in favour of Tornado Rocks here. Absolutely. I have to wonder if it's changed at all now.
Not at all, no. I mean, what started out at 86% for Tornado and dropped down to 82%, which is still a lot, and nothing has changed. 5-0s, 5-1s. It's like the game with the most 5-1, 5-0 predictions I've ever seen, to be honest. But well, 5-0 isn't possible anymore, right?
No, they won a round, so no 5-0.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think it's
probably.
Look, I think, like, for all we've been saying about Stronk Siema, it's not like they haven't won rounds before, right? And I feel like Murovanka is a map that they like to go for here. And we saw a bit of a fake-out play here from Tornado Rocks. It's uncommon to see, like you said, Oliver said, to put heavy tanks in the forest part of the map. So they were trying to do something unexpected. The reason why you don't put heavy tanks in the forest part of the map is because they suck there. It's not, you're not supposed to really do that. It doesn't benefit them in a big way. It was still close, but we saw, honestly, credit to Stronk Siema here. The focus fire was good. Vorsen got blown up pretty instantly. So, yeah, I mean, you've got to give them that round. That was well-deserved. Tornado went for something a little bit different, hoped to catch them out. It didn't really work.
Do you think that's going to happen again?
No. I think, well, the next map we're going on to here, according to my notes, is going to be Ruinberg. So, yeah, I mean, I actually do. I think you can win an attacking round of Ruinberg. I think Stronk Siema can make that happen. But I also think Tornado Rocks are a team that have had good attacking strategies every now and then. Yeah. So they have to work for it. But they worked for it there. They got it done. So, really, you can't take that win away from them. It's not like Tornado threw that game. They tried something different. It just didn't work. So...
Yeah, I mean, I think Dido actually, he had a big impact at like 1.7k, so I was going to say, okay, Dido maybe was the problem there, but actually it was like the Batchat and 2 STBs that didn't do anything, as long as, of course, with Vorsic. So, yeah, I mean, some people just didn't carry their weight. Stronk Siema played well, good combinations, especially with the TVP coming in at the end, very good stuff. So, yeah, fair enough to them. They got around on the board. Now everyone's back. Ruinberg's up next. Could be another 1-1. I mean, to be honest, we could see Stronk Siema with a 5-2 here, or maybe even more. We could see them winning this whole thing, as it's been 2 pretty weak rounds from 20 Rocks in the last map at least.
Yeah, I think Ruinberg is one that's definitely more familiar to them. I think Murovanka almost has step status as not as common map. I think there are some teams that can pick it, and that's, I think, was banned out in the last game. We didn't see any Murovanka at all, and it normally is banned out as well. It's... honestly, I don't mind it really. I don't know enough about the map playing in this format to see it if there's a real bias there. I mean, statistically
Murovanka.
maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's the defense side by about 10%, but I mean,
it's not a big one.
It's still interesting to watch. You know, there's some maps like Ruinberg which are just, I mean, they can be close for sure, but they're just not that great to watch. It's like, yeah, we got Himmelsdorf, we got Ghost Town, we got enough decent, balanced maps not to have to watch Ruinberg. But Murovanka's kind of an open one. It's more dynamic. You have artillery there. You know, you have some interesting elements that definitely clue in. I'd say it's probably the worst open map we have. I mean, Prokhorovka, Mines and Steps are definitely better, but you know, the problem with Murovanka is, of course, that there's just parts of Murovanka that are just logical to go to. Like the whole middle area, you spend like 5 seconds of the game in just charging through to get to one of the sides. So it's a little bit corridory, but yeah, it's a decent enough map.
Well, Ruinberg is the map now, and my 1945 year has received his second call-up of the night. Obviously, Lusik is still here, so it was another player in Tornado Rocks having problems. Don't know why it's just them.
It was Vorsic who got absolutely wrecked in that T110E5 last time.
Yeah, maybe you DC'd up on top of the hill.
He got so wrecked that he pretended he disconnected around the corner and left the game.
Oh, Lord. It's a push on here for Stronk Siema, and you don't want to get tracked in that position. I think Steroid just got perma-tracked here, so no more 3.5k damage. He got so close to the red line, Oliver, but he fell just short. No sniping for this man in this game. And now Butcher as well getting hammered. The Annihilator just getting the perfect scenario there as well, sitting back in the Waffentrager Alpha 100, getting most of his clip out. You can see Stronk Siema now down by about 5k hit points. It's a very, very, very big difference here. Dido being threatened here a little bit. As you can see that there's a cap on here, and it does need to be interrupted. Dido does need to keep hitting these resets, and you know, if he dies, then there's going to need to be another tank coming in for Tornado Rocks. However, Dido is bought enough time. You can see FC Dynamo, Positive Armageddon. They're moving into position. They're going to be here to get resets. Someone will get resets regardless. And the Annihilator is a while of reload here, so he's going to have to take his sweet time. My 1945 year, going to come back behind and get some damage across if he possibly can. Dido finally falls, but the cavalry's already here.
Yeah, exactly. This is Tornado Rocks just coming barreling in. You got all the heavy tanks there. You got Lusik there and a T68. You've also got the RE251 in the background to secure those resets, and Aojek is feeling the brunt.
Absolutely. He's very, very low. Near will go down now as well. As Zahadazord now caught between many, many tanks, and Guccio sitting out towards the back. He lets his final shot go, and it does connect, but still the Annihilator still healthy coming forward here. Got to be able to finish off Hunterzord, and that's it pretty much. I mean, Guccio now can back away. Statistically, theoretically, in a parallel universe, if you rub a lamp and a genie comes out, you probably don't win this round as Stronk Siema. Guccio now, they're thinking about the next map, and they have to as well. The next round, should I say, because that's obviously their defense. They just need to be discussing, seeing what Tornado's going for, and say, guys, if they're playing no respect here, let's just play solid. Let's just not let them push us around and see if we can actually get that round back and keep us in there. And there are many options for Guccio, as you can now see, as our observers have pointed out for us. He could go anywhere he wants to, but of course there's Tornado Rocks coming in for the kill here. Luciquel making his way forward. Guccio got to get bursted down, and that's it. So 7.6k for Tornado Rocks is a winning margin. Probably one of the biggest we've seen this season. I haven't taken them down, so it's hard to know here, but Stronk Siema go for the quick cap, but Tornado Rocks, they're not messing around here. They do have, of course, the FE215B, and they've got a Waffentrager up in the north, and they're catching those tanks early as well. I think Steroids dropped quite quickly, got double tracked, and there's just nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, the STB is just not fast enough to go into that position. You either need the Batchats and you kind of give your strategy away. If you bring the bat jets, or you need the IS-7s who are pretty low profile, bounce a lot from the sides, you know that kind of vehicle. And maybe you don't give so much away when you take the IS-7s because, of course, you can go towards that southern side. But the SDB is just going to get absolutely wrecked, and it did. And yeah, that's going to be match point for Tornado Rocks. Just one away. Of course, it's the attacking side now, so they do have quite a big mountain to climb. But if Tornado Rocks really want to win this one, they are a caliber of team who can beat Stronk Siema now on the attack.
No doubt about it. It just depends what they come up with here. Again, Stronk Siema, then they're in the league for a reason, right? They got into the league for a reason, and yes, they're going to be auto-relegated here, but they are good enough, a good enough standard to actually be a part of the league, and that says a lot. That says a lot more than hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other prospective teams. So they have the capacity to win these rounds, especially a defense round on Ruinberg. I'd like to think if there's any round that they have the most chance of winning, it's going to be this one. The Annihilator, though, gets off 2 clips, and that's what you're going to see. Damage done very, very high. Gucho as well was sitting back a bit towards the city and sort of making a flank around, so he wasn't really part of the capture effort. So, yeah, he's able to get some damage off. I don't know how much of that really counted. And then you can see as well, Wilson 240, Butcher got caught, and so did Steroid. So that's a big problem, obviously, if your mediums are getting caught out in the open and taken out. You're not going to be able to threaten the Waffentrager Alpha 100 that's up in the north. You can't get on towards him and actually mess him up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you won't be able to be in a position where you can shoot through those buildings and actually take down that tank that's going to get the resets. It's going to do a lot of damage against you. So, yeah, that's definitely a big problem. But next round's coming up. As I said, defensive round, it's actually going to be the Waffentrager Alpha Panzer 4 for Tornado Rocks on the attack. So a lot of teams, we saw already Wombats on tanks bring this one on the attacking side. Probably using that 560 gun, so the same one as the Waffentrager Alpha 100. And fairly effective. We have to see, maybe use a 750, probably not, since the handling is pretty bad. But it's going to be, I think, Tornado, this is going to be an interesting round. I mean, Tornado, big IS-7 stack, I think it works out well for them. Pop them in the cap, get control of that zero line with the T-54 lightweight, and have the Waffentrager in the background.
Well, the move is out for Tornado Rocks here. I'll be interested to see how the Waffentrager Alpha Panzer 4 works. Last time we saw it tonight, didn't really work out that well. Got bursted down pretty fast. Quad IS-7 though. Tornado Rocks not messing about here. Vorsen goes towards the middle. Stronk Siema actually want to try and flank through the cityscape. I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all if they can make something happen with it here, but they're not going to see... Oh, they might have caught positive there, maybe in a glimpse of him. So if they can jump on Diodor here with these double 50Bs, it's going to work really, really well.
Yeah, they will do well. I mean, definitely, the Waffentrager is going to get absolutely destroyed very quickly. Hardly any HP.
It's not
Wilson's there in the background as well. So this is going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Cassiasti tries to go for Diodor, and he does connect onto him. A very sloppy start from Tornado Rocks here. A good push, though, from Stronk Siema. I'll give them credit where it's due. I think they've done the right thing here, and I think it might just work out. But now, free shots on towards the side of these tanks, pushing in towards the middle of the village, and that's going to take a lot of damage away. But Vorsen was caught on his own here. Good on Stronk Siema. They were making a fight of this one, and this is the correct play. This is not even just luck. This is not even just a fluke. They've made a good decision, and now they're going to have to try and make it stick. They're going to have to try and make it count here. Ahoyek is super low. Just the one shot for him. 5 health he has remained, but Positive is getting constantly harassed by Wilson, who's just come alive in the last couple of rounds. You know, obviously his first few weren't that good, but he's really harassing Positive here. Positive should have the power to weight ratio to get up there. And now the Annihilator and Armageddon going to work on this corner. There is the threat of the IS-4 not far from them here, and Hunter's Order is quite healthy, so they still need to respect him on the other side of the road. The Annihilator just got set on fire. That's about as wrecked as you get. And he's just going to have to wait his time out on reload and hope to stay alive for a bit longer. But pretty close this one, although extra guns, of course, in the game for Stronk Siema is a bonus.
Yeah, and Juicio's coming from the behind. Steroid just get taken down. There's actually an IS-4 there, which is doing good damage against those IS-7s. So they are forced to go forwards. They can see that Guccio is going to be a big problem there. And this is the last chance, I think, for Tornado Rocks. If they don't win this one effectively, then those 50Bs are going to be in the right positions. They're going to take down these IS-7s.
Yeah, and the Annihilator has to respect that Guccio is going to come rattling around the corner as well. Who's going to be looking towards him, though? No one, really. There's a shot towards Guccio, though. He still wants to connect these shells. He can do work, but the Annihilator takes him out. Guccio, unfortunately, just has absolutely nothing. And Stronk Siema have messed it up. They had a chance there, and I like the idea, Oliver. Really, I do. The push seemed pretty good. They managed to isolate out some of those key tanks early, but Tornado Rocks have weathered the storm. They played just to their strength, and they played some patient ward of tanks. Even Positive is still alive. Remember, he was being chased by Wilson earlier on. Lucas Yasti will get caught out in the open here, and he'll go down, and that is that. And that is how Stronk Siema bow out of the season, not with a triumphant roar, but with a whimper. And they do roll over, of course, to Tornado Rocks, who breeze straight through them. They do get the one round there, and we'll give them credit for that one, but still not a stunning performance from the Poles.
I have to say, though, I'm pretty impressed by them. But just because, I mean, they could have played just completely YOLO and not bothered at all. But actually, they tried. They tried hard. That last round was very close. They could have won it easily. A couple on one on Murovanka, they could have won as well. You know, I have to have respect for Stronk Siema. You know, they're in a position where they can't get anywhere in the league. They have no chance. They go into Silver Series 100%. But they try. They give it their all. And, you know, you have to give a man respect for that because, you know, even he gets beaten down, he stands back up and he just tries his best, and that's what Stronk Siema has done this season. And
it doesn't matter if it's Stronk Siema or Kazna or Tornado Rocks. If they play bad, we'll generally say they play bad. We're not afraid to call people out on that one. You can tell me that I'm a yellow efficiency player and all that as much as like. We're just calling it as we see it. That's the difference. Lucy can the Annihilator there. Look, that IS7 call was very, very potent here for Tornado Rocks. You can see them being very, very hard to shift, and they just kept a cool head in the middle of the map, and we saw that big push come in. We saw the entirety of Stronk Siema try to jump onto that one IS7, and they got him. But then, of course, they put themselves into a trap. Easy shots to come towards them from Tornado Rocks, and they wrapped it up in a nice pink bow. Yeah,
exactly. Easy stuff from them. And I'm actually surprised those IS7s actually did as much damage they did. Brilliant assault tank, 490 damage, great alpha, but as a DPM machine, definitely one of the weaker ones. You know, you can do 750 with some tanks with the same reload as you have in that IS7. So, yeah, I mean, right, that's that one done. I think an expected result. Pretty impressed that Stronk Siema managed to put it around on the board, almost getting a second one there. And moving on to the next.
Yep, so the next map, of course, will be pretty important. Ding going up against Utopia. Utopia don't have a chance of qualifying for the pre-playoffs, but Ding, well, they still have a chance, actually, of mixing things up here as well. They're going to be in the pre-playoffs either way. I think, actually, a win or loss here doesn't affect positioning at all. But still, it'll be good to check their temperature going in towards, obviously, the last and most crucial part of the season. But we're going to have to check in back with that one, I guess, when we return, ladies and gentlemen. So, don't go too far, of course. One more map. The last game of the season is just around the corner. It's going to be Ding versus Utopia. Always been an absolute battle between those two. Always a pleasure to watch. So hang around. We're bringing you that one right after the break.